Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at something pretty unique. It's Alison McLean's track, If You. But we're not just, reviewing the music. We're treating the lyrics almost like a philosophical map.
Or maybe an instruction manual. It feels very structured, like a guide for when things get overwhelming.
Exactly, an instruction manual. That's perfect. And that feeling of being overwhelmed, that's the starting point.
Absolutely. The whole thing kicks off with that one condition. If you get lost in all this chaos.
That chaos is the trigger. And our mission today, for you listening, is to pull apart the choices McLean offers, to see if this framework she builds actually works as a way to cope.
It's a fascinating structure because it's so contained. It lays out very specific options when you hit that point of chaos.
Yeah, and even before we get the options, the text mentions things like a soft intro, melodic interlude. That suggests, what, a pause?
Yeah.
You have to sit with the chaos first.
I think so, like a forced breath, a moment of realizing you are lost before you even start thinking about what to do next. The music sets that mood.
Okay, so the mood is set. Overwhelm acknowledged. Then the text gives us the choices.
Right. And we're focusing purely on that textual structure today, the repeated options.
Let's unpack them. There are 5 main paths laid out repeatedly.
5 responses to being lost in all this chaos.
The first few seem to be about, well, movement, right? Doing something.
Definitely. Kinetic responses. You're stuck, so you move, and she starts with the extremes.
You can go upside.
Yep.
And you can go downside.
The polar opposites, maybe optimism versus pessimism or action versus retreat. Classic duality.
But then, right after establishing those poles, in the early verses, she throws in something specific. You can go upside. Why that? Why not just stick with upside?
That's such a great detail, the upside. I don't think it's just emphasis, it feels like. Like maybe the first upside wasn't enough.
You mean like you tried to rise above the chaos, and it didn't work?
Exactly. So you have to double down. It's an intensified effort, a more desperate attempt to climb out. It suggests the first try might be insufficient. Up is the direction. Up is the required force, maybe.
Wow, okay. So it's not just choosing a direction, but maybe escalating the effort needed.
Could be. Chaos might demand more than just a simple choice. It might need that extra push.
All right, so we have up, this intensified up, and down, the extremes. Then comes the 4th option.
You can travel in between.
This feels different. It's not an extreme.
No, it pulls back from the poles. This is where liminality comes in. Choosing ambiguity, maybe.
The middle path.
Sort of. It's deciding not to commit to the extremes, but instead to, well, navigate the space between them. It's accepting the journey without a fixed destination.
Like surfing the chaos instead of fighting it directly.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Accepting the messy middle, but notice it's still travel. It's still movement.
Right. Still an active choice, just not a polar one.
Precisely. You're still navigating.
Okay, so after all that movement up, intensified up, down, and in between, she pivots. The 5th choice feels fundamentally different.
It really does. Or you can come to peace with your being.
That's the big shift, isn't it?
Absolutely. The first 4 are external actions, directions. Go here, go there, navigate this space. This 5th one, it's internal.
Stillness.
Exactly. Resolution through acceptance, not action. It's about stopping the navigation altogether.
So why is that always the last option presented in each stanza? What does that tell us?
Well, it positions stillness as the ultimate alternative to all the striving. If the movement options are about changing your relationship to the chaos by moving, this one is about changing your internal state despite the chaos.
It suggests maybe peace isn't found by escaping, but by accepting.
That seems to be the implication. It redirects the effort inward. It might be harder, in a way, because it requires letting go of the need to do something externally.
And there's that rhythmic thing, too. After every single choice, upside, downside, whatever, there's a vocal yeah or these you sounds.
Right. It's like an affirmation.
Suggesting all paths are okay.
I think so. The structure doesn't seem to judge the choices. Whether you choose frantic movement or complete stillness, the response is affirmed. The value is in choosing a response to the chaos. Any response is valid.
Okay, so we have this menu of 5 validated responses. But now we need to talk about probably the biggest structural twist in the whole piece.
Yes, the pronoun shift. This is where it gets really interesting, moving beyond just personal advice.
Because the first couple of stanzas, it's all very direct, very personal.
Yeah.
If you get lost, you can go upside. Your being. It's aimed right at the individual listener.
Classic self-help framing almost. Here's what you can do.
But then, around stanza 3, it changes completely.
The whole framework flips.
The exact same options appear upside, downside, in between, peace. But now it's we can go upside. We can travel in between, come to peace with our being.
From you to we, the problem and the solutions become collective.
What does that shift mean for us, for the listener trying to use this framework?
It's huge. It suggests that while dealing with chaos starts as a personal task, you have to figure out your response. The long-term application, maybe the sustainable solution, is communal.
So the same paths apply, but now it's about a group navigating.
Exactly. The mechanism evolves. First, it's about securing your own peace or finding your direction. Then, the implication is that this needs to happen on a shared level to truly hold. Our being suggests collective well-being.
But couldn't that dilute things? If my chaos feels intensely personal, how does shifting to we really help? Does it let me off the hook from dealing with my own stuff?
That's a fair question. Does our being become a way to avoid my being? But I actually read it the other way around.
How so?
I think it implies that individual peace, while necessary, might be fragile or incomplete on its own. It needs the context of collective agreement or support. We need to find our peace together for my peace to last. It's about sustainability, not dilution.
Okay, I see. So you start the journey alone, figuring out your response move, navigate, find peace. But lasting peace, the kind that sticks. That requires bringing others along or joining a collective effort.
Precisely. The goal, peace with being, stays the same, but the responsibility broadens. It suggests that maybe true resilience in the face of overwhelming chaos isn't just an individual feat, it's a community project.
That transition from you to we is really powerful then. It reframes the whole thing from personal coping to almost a social model.
A model for shared navigation, yeah. And the way the song ends really hammers this home through sheer repetition.
Right, let's talk about that structure. 5 stanzas, almost identical, each one. Chaos happens, here are your 5 options. Why repeat it so relentlessly?
Well, what does repetition usually do? It reinforces. It drills something in.
So the message is, this isn't a one-time problem.
Exactly. Getting lost in all this chaos isn't something you solve once and you're done. It's cyclical. It's going to happen again and again.
And each time it does, this framework, these 5 choices, they're still there, waiting.
They're always available. The repetition mimics that recurring nature of the problem and the constant availability of the solution set. It's not a checklist. It's a tool you keep having to pick up.
The structure itself becomes part of the message about endurance.
And notice how the music often fades out with that core message repeating. That framework chaos, then the 5 choices, is meant to be the lasting echo in your mind. It's the takeaway she wants to leave you with.
Okay, this has been quite a deep dive into just these lyrics. Let's try to synthesize the main takeaways for you, the listener.
Sure. 2 big things seem to emerge.
Sure.
First, chaos isn't the end. It's the beginning of a choice. You have to respond. And McLean gives you a fixed menu: move up, down, navigate the ambiguity in between, or find internal resolution, peace. One of those is your next step.
You're forced to choose a path, basically.
Dad.
And second, the second big takeaway is that pronoun shift. The journey might start with you and your being, but the framework seems to argue that lasting peace, real resilience, requires shifting to we and our being.
Individual coping has to become, or at least be supported by, collective coping.
It's a really powerful framework when you lay it out like that. Movement, ambiguity, or peace. Individual, then collective.
It really is. We've covered the core choices and that crucial you to we transformation.
So here's a final thought, something for you to mull over after this. We talked about the first 4 options, upside, downside, up, upside, travel in between as forms of movement or navigation. Action.
They all involve going somewhere or doing something in relation to the chaos.
But that 5th option, come to peace with your being, is stillness. So the final question is this. Does Alison McLean's framework suggest that coming to peace isn't just another option on the menu, but maybe the only truly non-directional response you can have?
If all the others define themselves by movement away from or through the chaos, is internal peace the only choice that lets you fundamentally stay put internally while the chaos continues externally? Something to think about.
Indeed. If you feel lost in all this chaos, what does peace truly represent in that framework? Think on that.